Godox have sent me the IVM-S3, an on-camera shotgun mic with a little bit of a difference. It has a microphone on the back, mono microphone, or you can split it into a stereo microphone for ambient room sound or for isolating two voices. Before we look at all its features, let's get outside and do a wind noise test. For the wind noise test, we've got the two dead cats on the mic now, and it's quite windy, it's very blustery down here at the park, so it'd be quite interesting to see how clean the audio is. It's made of a good quality strong plastic. Here it has a cold shoe mount with a 1/8 thread on the bottom. It has two mics that when they're together they're in mono mode, and when you separate them they're now in stereo mode. The mics themselves have inputs on the sides and on the top. This is to assist with noise cancellation, and it also has a third mic on the back. It has a gain control here, a reset button, an out jack to plug into your camera, another jack here for the headphones to monitor your sound, and here you have a charging point, and here you can put in an SD card. On the top you have your on-off button that you hold down for approximately 4 seconds. The button in the middle will turn on the omnidirectional, which will be the rear and front mics, and the lower button is your record button to record onto the SD card, and it has a nice LCD screen to be able to see your audio levels through each mic and your battery level. So I'm kindly joined by George again from Digital Camera World, and we're just talking about the different functions of the mic here. Now at the moment it's in mono shotgun mode, and George, tell me, what are some of the features that you liked about this mic?
Well, I really like the fact that it's directional. As we can see, it's listening to a narrow field of view, but it's not listening behind, so any traffic or unwanted noise it's not being listened to, including yourself, Tim. But you can obviously change that, and you can be interviewing and it'll pick up your sound because there's a button you can press to make it in a figure of 8 position, so it's listening behind and in front.
Great. So the mic here we're just going to activate by hitting the omnidirectional button, which is just here. And I'm just going to check there's a symbol on top to say that that is come on. And now my voice is coming from the audio through this mic into this camera. So George, now that we're recording in this mode, what other features did you particularly like about this mic?
Well, I like the fact that you'll be sounding loud and clear coming in the back of that, because it's a really good microphone, and I should sound fairly clear as well. Not quite as strong maybe because I'm a little further away, but I also like the fact that the shotgun mics can be separated like scissors, and you can get a wider audio field of view but still be directional, which is great for things like orchestras, for example. Okay, great. So we're going to now switch it from the mono mode into the stereo mode, so let's just do that. So to put the mic into stereo mode, we just separate the mics so they're pointing in different directions, and that will take it from mono to stereo mode, which of course is good if you're interviewing two people. Now for the purpose of this, we've got this camera a little bit closer to us, but normally it would be further back, and you would have your interviewees in front of you, and this will separate onto two different channels so you can edit the audio individually. Let's look at this in Finalcut Pro. As you can see, I've dropped my main camera angle onto the timeline, and this is the audio just coming through the camera. So George, how did you get on? What I'm going to do is to view this audio more clearly. I'm just going to adjust the display so I can see the peaks in the audio more clearly, and below I'm just going to drop the camera from the A7R5 you can see here, which looks like that, but for the purpose of doing this video I wanted the mics near to us and recording into the camera. So now I've lined up the track here, I've duplicated it and lined up the track here as well. So there's two tracks both from the A7R5, so now I don't need the audio from the main camera angle. And if I just take these tracks individually, what I've done here is we're in stereo mode, and if you just click on the little arrow, and you can see you can choose dialogue 1 or dialogue 2. If you put this into dual mono, you'll have both the tracks playing at the same time. So George, how did you get on using this mic? Go back into stereo mode. I'm just going to hide that. I'm going to show the track below, so I'm going to call this
dialogue 2, so I've clicked here, selected dialogue 2, named it as Tim. So now I've got stereo and I've got each voice separated, although due to the sort of close proximity you'll hear the other person's voice on each track anyway, but it does mean that I can do any audio effects to each person. So if we just take this lower track, and then I can take one of my presets, let's say I've got one here for the A7R5, and I can just drop that on. And this is just adding a little limiter and compressor and just tweaking the EQ slightly. I have a video on how to do all of this and set this all up in the playlist, which you'll see a link to later. And now...
Did you get on using this mic? Well, when I tested this, there was only me, so I had to do it.
And then likewise, I can make adjustments to this track in a similar way. And then we can play them both together.
So I had to do a split screen and I had to interview myself.
Now, if you've got two people with very different tones to their voices, you can then adjust each track individually. So if I remember correctly, we had George number 2, George number 3.
Oh, George number 3 was on the rear mic.
Oh, yes. You did the rear mic at the same time?
Yes, so I had to do 3 separate shots and get the timing right so I could interview myself.
Yeah. So you cloned yourself. And that's simply how to work with stereo tracks in Finalcut Pro. I did find this a really intriguing little microphone. The only thing for me is it didn't come in any travel case, and I like to chuck things in my bag, run and gun. Otherwise, you've got to put it in this cardboard box that will clearly get trashed. Otherwise, it worked really well. I like this unique feature of being able to split these into stereo mode and to be able to record your own voice if you're doing an interview on the back. I think that's fantastic design. Now, if you want to purchase this item, there's an affiliate link in the description down below. If you've got a handful of kit that you want to sell, you could always head over to MPB here, and they'll either buy your old equipment for cash or you can trade it in for new or used equipment. If you want to watch other videos on audio equipment or to how to edit audio, there's a playlist over here. Showing the love, please subscribe to the channel up here, and hopefully I'll see you over there.